The hidden ache. You are surrounded by people, family, co-workers, crowds in the street, yet there's a hollow feeling you can't shake. You laugh, you nod, you say all the right words, but inside there's a silence no one else seems to hear. It gnaws at you, a quiet ache beneath the noise of everyday life. You wonder, is there something wrong with me? The truth is, you are not broken. You are not unlovable. You are being called. In a world hyper-connected through screens yet emotionally distant, loneliness has become a silent epidemic. It hides behind smiling faces, successful careers, perfect Instagram feeds. It whispers in the quiet moments before sleep, in the hollow laughter at crowded gatherings, in the longing for something more, something real. And despite what you might believe, this feeling isn't your enemy. It's a signal, a call to awaken. This isn't the end of your story. It's the first trembling step toward a new one, a life rooted in real connection, authentic love, and undeniable strength. 1. The illusion of connection. We live in an era where connection seems only a click away. A message, a swipe, a like, a flood of notifications that trick us into believing we are intertwined with the world. But what we often experience isn't connection, it's performance. Endless scrolling through curated feeds creates an illusion that everyone else is loved, fulfilled, seen. Meanwhile, our own lives feel muted, like black and white sketches against a backdrop of vibrant colors. The gatherings we attend, the conversations we have, often feel hollow, staged moments instead of soul-deep connections. Technology, while miraculous, has replaced depth with speed and intimacy with exposure. True connection is sacred. It demands time, vulnerability, patience. It grows in the quiet spaces now drowned out by the constant hum of digital noise. Few dare to admit, I feel alone. I feel invisible. But beneath the polished images, beneath the curated captions, there is a silent plea. Will you still love me if you see who I really am? Real connection begins not with perfection, but with authenticity. The world doesn't need a more polished version of you. It needs the real one. 2. The silent epidemic of modern loneliness. Loneliness today doesn't always wear a recognizable face. It's hidden behind crowded cafes, busy offices, and vibrant social feeds. It touches the young professional glued to their phone, the mother rocking her child while scrolling through picture-perfect lives, the teenager smiling in selfies but aching for real touch. Statistics tell part of the story. Nearly 1 in every 4 adults reports feeling lonely. But the numbers cannot capture the silent ache lodged deep within the soul. Loneliness whispers at night. It lingers in the pauses between conversations. It wraps around you in a room full of people. Social media, once promising instant connection, has sharpened the knife, offering constant exposure but little real intimacy. Men hide loneliness behind jokes, work stress, addictions. Women mask it beneath the endless race for perfection, balancing work, beauty, relationships, and still feeling like they fall short. And when loneliness persists, it carves itself into the body, the mind, the spirit. Studies show its effect on health rivals smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet the greatest damage it inflicts isn't on the body, but on the belief that you deserve to be seen and loved. Loneliness isn't weakness. It's a profound human signal. You were made for more than this. 3. Why modern life breeds loneliness. The modern world, for all its advances, has unknowingly become fertile ground for loneliness. We uproot ourselves chasing better jobs, higher salaries, bigger dreams, trading lifelong bonds for fleeting encounters. Neighborhoods that once felt like extended families have dissolved into silent streets and closed doors. Technology, meant to bridge distance, often widens the emotional gap. A text replaces a conversation. An emoji substitutes genuine affection. Dating apps turn romance into a transaction. Swipe, match, ghost, repeat. Friendships become likes, comments, occasional DMs. Workplaces, once bustling communities, now foster competition instead of camaraderie. Busy schedules leave little room for slow, meaningful relationships. Busyness becomes a badge of honor, while vulnerability is seen as weakness. Social norms glorify independence, shaming the natural human need for belonging. In a culture obsessed with doing more, achieving more, being more, we forget how to simply be with each other. Loneliness is not your failure. It's the inevitable cost of a society that has forgotten what connection truly means. 4. How loneliness manifests in everyday life. Loneliness doesn't always announce itself loudly. It's subtle, slippery, often wearing the mask of a busy, successful life. You could be surrounded by friends at a party, laughing, drinking, dancing, yet inside, you feel a hollow ache no one else can see. You perform the role expected of you. You tell yourself this is what happiness looks like. But it feels like you're pressing your face against a glass wall, watching life unfold without being part of it. You could be in a long-term relationship and still feel profoundly alone. Conversations become logistical exchanges, groceries, bills, errands. The intimacy of sharing dreams, fears, vulnerabilities slowly erodes, leaving only polite silence. At work, you might interact with dozens daily, exchanging pleasantries, accomplishing tasks, yet feel unseen, unknown. Sometimes loneliness shows up as oversharing, pouring out your heart to a stranger because you crave someone, anyone, to really see you. Other times it hides as withdrawal, canceling plans, avoiding calls, convincing yourself you're just tired when in truth you're afraid to risk rejection again. Loneliness seeps into habits, endless scrolling through feeds, working late into the night, saying I'm fine when your heart is breaking. The cruel cycle is this: the lonelier you feel, the harder it is to connect. And the harder it is to connect, the lonelier you become. But recognizing loneliness for what it is, a call for real connection, is the first brave step toward healing. 5. The hidden costs of loneliness. Loneliness isn't just emotional discomfort. It's a slow, silent killer. Research reveals that chronic loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It weakens your immune system. It raises your blood pressure. It increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. Your body interprets prolonged isolation as danger, keeping you in a constant state of low-grade stress. But the wounds go deeper than physical. Loneliness reshapes how you think about yourself. It whispers that you are unworthy, invisible, forgotten. It convinces you that reaching out is futile, that trusting others is dangerous. The longer it persists, the heavier and more permanent it feels. Social isolation twists your perception of reality. Instead of seeing opportunities for connection, you anticipate judgment, rejection, humiliation. You build walls not to keep danger out, but to keep yourself hidden. And as loneliness spreads individually, it ripples outward, fragmenting communities, eroding empathy, creating societies where compassion is rare. But loneliness, as destructive as it is, doesn't have to define you. It can become the catalyst for profound change if you dare to face it head-on. 6. Why modern life breeds loneliness. Deeper truth. Despite living in a time where connecting with someone across the globe takes mere seconds, loneliness is soaring. Social media offers the illusion of intimacy without the vulnerability real intimacy demands. We curate highlight reels, hiding our fears, our flaws, our longing for acceptance. Everyone looks happy. Everyone seems successful. And so, scrolling through endless perfection, you start believing you're the only one struggling. Dating apps promised love at your fingertips but turned relationships into disposable transactions. Friendships became threads of comments instead of steady anchors in a storm. Meanwhile, the culture of busyness leaves little room for nurturing real bonds. Slow, vulnerable, imperfect connection, the kind that sustains the human spirit, is pushed aside for efficiency and appearance. Economic pressures uproot families, friendships, communities, and cultural shifts glorify radical independence, isolating us further. Modern life didn't intend to breed loneliness, but without conscious resistance, it inevitably does. And seeing this truth is the first step in choosing a different way. 7. The silent collapse. Created by social media began as a promise, a bridge across distance, a celebration of community. But it has evolved into something far more complex and far more isolating. We scroll endlessly through curated lives, sunlit vacations, perfect families, flawless celebrations. We see only the highlight reels, rarely the fear, rarely the loneliness, rarely the aching humanity beneath the images. Likes, shares, followers. They mimic connection but cannot replace it. They offer validation without intimacy, conversation without vulnerability, presence without true understanding. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, we forget how to be human with one another. The spontaneous smiles, the awkward silences, the messy, beautiful imperfection of real relationships fade. In their place, algorithms reward performance, and loneliness quietly takes root in the silence between digital applause. But true connection was never meant to be curated. It was meant to be lived. Messy, raw, real. 8. The trap of modern relationships. In a world where connection is supposedly easier than ever, forming lasting bonds has paradoxically become harder. Dating apps have reduced the search for love into a swipe, a match, a brief conversation, a sudden disappearance. Every interaction is shadowed by a gnawing doubt. Could I do better? Friendships, once forged through shared experiences and slow trust, now compete against the constant pull of busyness and screens. Patience is rare. Vulnerability feels dangerous. Time feels like a luxury no one can afford. In this landscape, emotional self-protection becomes the norm. Walls are built not only to keep others out, but to shield fragile hearts from the inevitable sting of disappointment. Yet the cost of self-protection is steep. The higher the walls, the lonelier the soul becomes. Modern relationships often mirror our curated digital selves, polished, presentable, but lacking the rawness that true connection demands. We crave authenticity, yet many would rather maintain the illusion of connection than risk the messy, beautiful chaos of real human bonds. But no swipe, no perfectly crafted profile, no convenient match can substitute for the slow, sacred work of being truly known and choosing to know someone else in return. 9. The silent erosion of self-worth. Loneliness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, softly, relentlessly. You begin to question your worth. You wonder if your loneliness is proof that you are somehow broken, somehow lesser. Each unanswered message feels heavier. Each canceled plan stings sharper. And the mind, ever hungry for stories, fills the silence with cruel fictions. Maybe I'm not interesting enough. Maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I don't matter. Over time, loneliness carves itself into your identity. You laugh at jokes that belittle you. You apologize for simply existing. You accept scraps of attention, convinced it's all you deserve. And slowly, quietly, you shrink. You become a muted version of yourself, hiding your vibrancy, your dreams, your hunger for connection. But the tragedy isn't that loneliness happens. The tragedy is that it convinces you that this small, fearful, isolated version of you is all you are. It is not. You are not broken. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are still here, still worthy, still human, still capable of the breathtaking, terrifying, beautiful work of reaching for real connection. 10. The illusion of connection. We live in an age where 1,000 likes can flood your screen in seconds. But real connection, true soul-deep belonging, can't be measured in metrics. It can't be captured in carefully curated snapshots. It can't be substituted by endless scrolling and heart emojis. The illusion of connection numbs the ache but never heals the wound. We seek validation from virtual strangers, hoping their approval will fill the silent void inside. But every like, every retweet, every view is fleeting. They disappear into the noise, leaving the hunger deeper, the loneliness sharper. True connection demands more. It demands courage. It demands presence. It demands showing up, not as a polished, filtered version of yourself, but as your messy, magnificent, authentic self. It's not enough to be seen. You must allow yourself to be known. And that choice, terrifying, vulnerable, exhilarating, is where real connection is born. The awakening. Loneliness may feel like a heavy, unyielding silence. It may wrap around you, whispering that you are alone, forgotten, unworthy. But hidden within that silence is a choice, a whisper, a call. Will you let loneliness break you? Or will you let it rebuild you? You were never meant to disappear into the shadows. You were meant to rise, wiser, stronger, more fiercely alive than ever before. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is a secret calling, whispered only to those strong enough to hear it. It is not a test of survival. It is a test of transformation. When the world grows quiet, listen closely. That silence you fear is the sound of your true self awakening. Embrace it. Stand up. Reach out. And become everything you were always destined to be.